Thanks for logging on to riflesfootball.com. Darren Bombing here with head coach Geordie Wilson. 38-20 loss here at IG Field to the Edmonton Huskies. Missed opportunities, maybe the most frustrating thing when you look back on this game?
Yeah, we had opportunities. Like, again, it wasn't an effort issue. We just made too many mistakes. And it's, like I sound like a broken record, but that's kind of been a sag of our season so far.
Last time you played Edmonton, the Huskies, in Edmonton, it was special teams that was really a deciding factor. Did you feel your team made the improvements where you needed to?
Yeah, special teams were bad. Except, when they had the punt, the high snap, and the kid took off, we blew the container on the other side. They, for whatever reason, a couple of our players changed responsibilities. I'm not really sure why. And they busted a big run on us. And that was there was 17-10 at that time, and we topped that kid. We were right at midfield. We got a chance to tie this thing up before going into the half. So it was a tough spot.
When it came to their offense, Coach, they used a trio of tailbacks today, and all were quite effective. Was that one of the most challenging things for your club defensively, is the way they ran the ball?
Oh, yeah, undoubtedly. I think they had 230 yards rushing or somewhere in that neighborhood. So we didn't do a good enough job in our front seven, right? At the end of the day, we got to, man up. They got a big, strong offensive line, and they did a good job, and our guys we didn't do quite enough, quite good enough.
You mentioned effort was definitely not lacking in this game from your Rifles team, but offensively, was it just one of those days where things didn't click?
Sure seemed that way. It was frustrating. We missed some throws that we could have made and dropped some balls, Yeah, we had some mistakes, and they were frustrating, for sure.
You've never been a coach to make excuses, but cold weather, rainy, wet balls out there, did that play a factor at all?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the weather had anything to do with it at all. I think, honestly, it's just mistakes we made, and it's the way it goes. We had and again, not blaming officials for us losing at all, but when we were down 14 points, the pass interference in the end zone, I think, was a pretty questionable call, and especially on a turnover, and that could have been a big momentum swing for us.
It's really one of those games where it seemed like there was a lot of penalties on both sides, special teams, offensively, defensively.
Yeah, we had 13 for 137, and they had 10 for, I think, $110 or somewhere in that neighborhood. There was a lot of penalties, which, again, a lot of them are warranted. I'm not saying they weren't. But, it just seems like, honestly, like in football in general, PI calls are ridiculous. Like, it's getting to a point, like, it's stupid that anybody breathes on someone. And today, how many underthrown balls were there into the wind, and PIs are getting called, and you never, hardly ever will you see offensive pass interference. But if a defender breathes on an offensive player, they want to call PI. And it's not just here, I'm talking like in general. And it's shifted so poorly, it's very hard for a defensive back to even play anymore.
Well, it's one of those games where the wind was swirling, it was cold, it was wet. It's kind of playoff football weather. The Winnipeg Rifles, of course, are in Saskatoon next week to face the defending champion Hilltops. Be sure to log on to riflesfootball.com as we look towards that game and tee it up for you. For head coach Geordie Wilson, my name is Darren Bombing. Your final score today, Edmonton 38, Winnipeg 20. Thanks for logging on to riflesfootball.com.